That wasn't even funny. We've moved on to the interior. We are now working on the interior of the bus. We're going to start putting up ceiling panels. They are now sitting on the floor. We picked up 1/4 inch, what is it? Aspen.
Aspen.
1/4 inch aspen. Looks really nice.
Naughty aspen.
It's got some knots and stuff in it. And we're going to start,
It needs to be spanked.
we're going to do, that wasn't even funny. We're going to do one section at a time. So we'll level the ceiling and everything one section at a time. We got some LED puck lights. We'll be putting those in at the same time as we do each sheet. And you can't reach that high, so I guess I'll be doing the brunt of the work on this.
Yep.
You and me, we meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free.
So we're back next morning. What you can see is we stuck up a piece of pine that we're using as a kind of a planning guide because we don't want to stick the good piece up there. I do need to scrape a little bit more, but this is what we're going to end up with, and we're going to have this little space back here, which we're okay with. We kind of like the more rounded look. The only way for us to get away from that is to create another shim up in there, another furring strip, and we don't really want to do that, so we are okay with that.
Forever free, you and me, meant to be in the great outdoors, forever free.
Okay, there we go, first sheet is in. We had to actually go back, take the aspen back and get pine because the aspen would not bend up in here like we wanted it to. Like I said earlier, we do have that space in there, which we are absolutely fine with. It's a good spot to draw wiring down if we need to in the future. But now I'm going to put in the holes for the lights and feed the wires through for the lights, and holes for the speaker wire, and then figure out how to attach the side. But that's how she's gonna look. Looks great. I'm getting ready to put the ceiling light in. I used a hole saw, cut the proper size hole where we wanted it, fed the snake through, and I'm gonna tie the wiring, tape it onto there, and pull it back through. I'm just gonna tape.
So what are you doing?
Taping the wires onto the snake, which I just showed that I pushed the snake through the hole. So I'm taping the wire onto the snake, and then I pull it back through the hole and out the other side where I need the wiring to go. If I was to do something differently, I would have put wiring already in place for every single spot, but I think that would have came with its own problems, because then we would have had to figure out where all those holes were, instead of deciding afterwards where we wanted the hole. Either way, so there we go. That I am just going to leave hanging for now. This is the wiring for that. When we get, because this will end up getting tucked up above the next panel in for all the lights. So when we get that done, then we will hook it up to the circuit at the back, touch it to the battery, and make sure the lights are lit. So okay, now I'm going to do the other one over on this side and do the exact same thing. And when we do them on the next panel, we'll video us turning them on.
And wiring them.
For wiring, you just, with LED lights, they only work in one direction. So it's not like a regular light bulb on 12 volt where it doesn't matter if you got positive or negative as long as it runs through. The LED, they've got the hot line, so that you got one that's got dotted black on it, that's your ground. So here I've got red and black, red is hot, ground is black in 12 volts. Some of these places doing 12 volt now is very confusing. So this is how I have it, red is hot, black is ground. So the black dotted one will get hooked to the ground. All 4 of the lights that are going to be hooked onto this switch are all going to get hooked that way. Okay, I'm twisting the wires together just so we can test these 2 lights on the circuit. These are going to be switched. The switch is going to be on a wall right here. This is the wire that goes to them. This is the wire that comes to the switch. This is the wire that comes to the lights. So this is in effect closing the switch. The lights are going to be hopefully able to see back here. Come back here. I have the other end of the wires here, positive in the ground. And I'm just going to touch to the battery. Positive, ground. Are the lights on?
Oh, one's on.
Okay, go.
There's one. One's on. And the other's on.
There we go. So that circuit works.
And Chris said, let there be light.
Yeah.
Take a step back to see the truth around you from a distance.
We have a few spots where we have some imperfections in my foam job. So we've got cans we're just going to touch up there and up in here. We're just going to touch it up and be done with it. There we go. Most of the ceiling is in. We're going to have to do some molding in and around where the seams don't quite fit, but I got all the lights hooked up as we were going. I've got all the living room, hallway, and bedroom lights on. Over here is the shower and the bathroom. We don't need those, but just wanted to see how they looked. Really brightened it up in here. And yeah, really happy with that. So tomorrow, I'm going to come back and I'm going to do up here over top of the driver's compartment, get that all done, and then we are done, because this in the transition area, yeah, that's going to wait. We'll scrape it all out nice and smooth, and we'll have to maybe do that bit by bit. Okay, there we have it. Ceiling is more or less done. This is over the driver's area. Obviously we are leaving this in here for the time being till we figure out how to modify the door. I've got the ceiling put in now, lights and everything, and the other side over here I've got this piece put in. It's not screwed in yet, so it's kind of got some problems. I got to get different screws because the ones I've been using are too long to run in on an angle. I don't want to hit any wiring, so I'm going to get some short ones to install that. But it's there, it's cut, it's in. Just got one screw holding it in place. These ones all along here I'm just using to hold the ends in. I'm getting short ones to put in there as well. But it's in. That's it. Ceiling is in. Once I start building cabinets and such, we'll be addressing this. There'll be molding. When I put the screws in here to hold it in place, I'll be holding this in place a little bit better when I screw it in, so that there'll be less obvious seam separations. Like this one here is really bad as well, but if I push up on it, it's okay. And then we're going to make strips out of the same material to cover those. Do I have a short piece here? Yeah, so here, like this is, the grain is cut the wrong way, but it'll give you the idea of what we're doing. That's going to go up in there like that. And we're going to staple that into place. It'll get stained the same color, and it's going to look fantastic. But that's all finished work. That's not ceiling work. So that's it for the ceiling. Obviously, the transition is going to be difficult to figure out how to do. That's probably going to be where we take strip of vapor barrier. Same way we did the transition on the outside, we'll do the same thing. We'll tape vapor barrier along the top and the bottom, and then we'll draw out our shape, and then we'll cut out the wood pieces that we need to fit in there. I'm pretty sure that's going to work just fine. The ends, the front and back of the bus, obviously we did not spray foam the tops, and that's going to get rock wool put in it, and there will be walls put up in there as well, but that's not part of the roof, the ceiling. So that's it for this video. Ceiling is done. I hope you enjoyed that one. Give it a like if you did.
I'm just sitting here. I got time. It's clear to see from up here. The world seems small.